welcome back to ritzyventurez. This is the second episode of my Vietnam series that is focused on HoI An in central Vietnam. Do check the previous episode to find out what I did on the first half of day 1 of my HoI An visit. The link would be in the description box. But before I proceed further, kindly like and subscribe to the channel. It gives me great motivation to bring forth my travel from across the world to you. Without further ado, let's start how I spent the second half of my day 1 in HoI An. I started by visiting Quang Quang Temple. This is a 17th century Chinese pagoda. Please note that the entrance to the temple is not free. I used my HoI An pass that I had bought previously to enter, and I used this guide that I got complimentary with the pass for reference and depended on Google Map to reach the place by walking. What caught my eye was the splendid architecture of the pagoda that depicts classical Confucian style. This temple interestingly gets its name from a Chinese military general Quang Quang. Legend has it that this Chinese merchant came to the temple to sign contracts for loan because no one had the audacity to commit fraud in the presence of the deity. It has many antiques, say this painting for instance. Do keep substantial amount of time to marvel at the architecture and sit and pray here. Next, I headed for Coconut Basket Boat Ride. This is located at Kham Tham village, which is around 4 kilometers from ancient town. Kham Tham village is considered as the green lungs of HoI An due to its large collection of coconut trees. The location is often compared to Mekong Delta in southern Vietnam. This ride takes you to Bay Mau Coconut Forest. The cost of the ride is 90,000 VND or 300 rupees to 2 lakh VND or 650 rupees per person. I booked this ride through the hotel. You can book directly at the village or through Klook or other such apps. Before the commencement of the trip, they give you these conical hats called non la. The package usually includes boat ride, traditional fishing as well as crab catching. It may also include pick up and drop to the village along with some snacks. There is an interesting tale behind the origin of these boats. The boats are known as thong chai in Vietnamese. Thong chai is a variety of coracle or circular boat that is traditionally used in India and Iraq. This is the one that I have taken a ride in South India, as many of you must have. There is an interesting story behind the existence of thong chai. But before I tell you the story, kindly subscribe to the channel. So history has it that when the French arrived in Vietnam, they began levying taxes on the ownership of the boats. The poor Vietnamese fishermen who depended on the boats for livelihood could not afford to pay taxes, thus they invented thong chai. The fishermen argued that these were not boats but basket and thus could not be taxed. The strategy worked to get a tax relief. What a brilliant idea, Sergi. The most thrilling part of the ride is this spin that these boatmen give to earn some extra moolah. It is an enjoyable sight with everybody clapping, cheering and popular songs being played. Look at these two girls having a gala time during the spin. And this boatman. I did not opt for the spin for fear of being left with my head reeling. Our boatman was an amicable fellow who kept saying chalo chalo in Hindi and kept singing songs. Next, we were taken to see traditional Vietnamese fishing. What a nice throw it was. And for a few extra bucks, they teach you how to ace the throwing of the fish net. Next was crab catching. Little crabs scurrying along the sandy banks made for such a pretty sight. This was a crab that our boatman got for us. My smile despite the scorching heat tells how happy I was. So this should be a must-do activity for you while you are in HoI An. After grabbing a bite, I left for the next destination, crossing some verdant rice fields. Evening was setting in. It was the best time to visit the beach. I went to An beach, which is around 5 kilometers from HoI An town. It is a pristine beach that is best visited for watching the sunset. After watching the bewitching sunset, I went back to the ancient town. You have not seen HoI An if you have not seen it in the night. The town transforms itself into a fairyland in the night. So this part of Thu Bon River is called HoI River. I was spellbound by the mesmerizing spectacle in front of me. The magical lanterns were lit up everywhere, from cafes, shops, street to the boats. The boats were ferrying passengers up and down the stream. You get the tickets for the ride near the river bridge. You need to pay 1,50,000 VND or 490 rupees for a 3-person boat and 2 lakh VND or 650 rupees for a 5-person boat. The dreamy boats beckoned me for a ride. I opted for a 3-person boat. Had to duck our heads to go under this bridge. This was a 15 minutes ride. This was rather a slow romantic one, which is in stark contrast to the basket boat ride we had in the afternoon, which were full of thrills. You can release candles into the river during the ride, but you need to buy the candles from before. The ride is available from 4 to 9 p.m. but for the best experience, take the ride after the dusk sets in. The ride was sheer poetry in motion for me. After the ride, I strolled around the streets, enjoying the electrifying ambience around me. Cafes were playing peppy songs. Some even had live bands. I was particularly intrigued by the focused lighting in front of this cafe, saying "Wanderlust HoI An." What an apt way to describe the town. Bought a floating candle from this lady, held it onto the end of a stick, went over the bridge to descend the stick slowly into the river, and noticed my candle float away. It is believed that floating candles usher in good luck. My last visit was the lantern street. Lantern making is a 400-year-old art form. I bought a few of these traditional lanterns to take them back home. It was already 9 p.m. so I bought dinner from one of these cafes and called it a day. It was rather a long first day in HoI An. Thanks for watching and do subscribe to the channel. And in the next episode, do watch my trip to the Bana Hill.